Now, you might be wondering why I have this word on my screen. It's kind of interesting. I was watching LackLuster's last video where it was dealing with the case of Johnny Wheatcroft. Over the years, we've talked about Johnny Wheatcroft a lot, and we've used him as an example of how bad police departments can actually be and how they hide information from the public that the public should be made aware of. But the reason I pulled this word up on the screen, sadistic, the definition is deriving pleasure from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. Who do we think of? What profession comes to mind when you think of the word sadistic? And the reason I pulled that particular word up is because look at this ABC 15 investigators news site, Lower Chiron. It says experts. It's sadistic and may be criminal. Well, if sadistic is deriving pleasure from the pain and suffering and humiliation of others, and you're doing that, you're performing sadism on an unwilling member of the public who trusts you to keep them safe, because that's what law enforcers are supposed to be doing, right? Keeping you safe. Well, if you break that trust and you commit sadism against an unwilling participant and member of the public, isn't that criminal all by itself? It's almost like it's murder and it may be criminal. It's rape or it's theft and it may be criminal. It's just ridiculous. So Johnny Wheatcroft on July 27th, 2017 gets pulled out of his car by the Glendale Police Department, and the officer is Officer Schneider, who, as LackLuster brings out, a month after this incident, this criminal incident, it was the initiation of criminality by a law enforcement official who holds a public trust and authority and power that he abused and unleashed on Johnny Wheatcroft. A month later, he appears on Live PD or one of those cop shows as the face of the Glendale Police Department. That is amazing. That's alarming. That's infuriating. And for people to look at cops who do break the public trust and do abuse members of the public that they're supposed to be serving and protecting, it's outrageous to me that there isn't a greater outcry against these cops who do this kind of stuff. On camera, by the way. And in this case right here, on camera in front of crying kids to a man who clearly did nothing wrong. And if it wasn't for the Motel 6 cameras, you wouldn't even know that there's no possible way. The reason they pulled him over is for lack of turning on their turn signal. There's no possible way, with the entire building in the way, that those cops would have known whether they turned their turn signal on entering the Motel 6 parking lot or not. And when that one cop is in bed and they're all kind of laughing at it, they said the suspicious activity was when the cops came around the corner, Johnny Wheatcroft's wife, who was in the driver's seat operating that vehicle, backed up into a parking spot, and they considered that suspicious activity. So it was an unlawful stop in the first place. It was illegitimate to ask Johnny Wheatcroft, who was the passenger of the vehicle, to produce his driver's license, when in the state of Arizona, it's either you produce your license if you're the driver and it's during a traffic stop, or you produce your license if they suspect that you've committed a crime. Neither of those criteria were met. So it was an unlawful traffic stop. It was an unlawful order, and based on that, they commit their sadistic acts on Johnny Wheatcroft, tasing him 11 times, kicking him in the private parts twice, tasing him once in the private parts, all in front of his screaming kids. It's outrageous. But what's even more outrageous than that is the fact that Johnny Wheatcroft, right after, from that day forward, for the next 60 days, he spends in the Glendale jail. 60 days. So 2 months of this guy's life is in the Glendale jail, and the Glendale taxpayers are paying for this guy to be there when he did absolutely nothing wrong. A 100% innocent man goes to jail for having done nothing wrong, committed no crime. And the guys who should be in jail, and it's not just Schneider, it's everybody who helped Schneider out. They all became his accomplices in this criminal activity. But then they cover it up, and the guy only gets a 3-day unpaid suspension. That's his slap on the wrist. And then a month later appears on that cop show as the face of the Glendale Police Department. And then the Glendale Police Department withholds the body cam footage for almost 2 years, as the Glendale Police Department issues a statement saying, well, we're all about public safety and trust and transparency and accountability. It's not being transparent when you're going to hide the video from the public. You know what's on the video. You know what your cops did. You know the public wants to see that information. And like I said, if it wasn't for the video footage of the Motel 6 camera, you would never know the cop was lying. He could literally make everything up that he did on the report and would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the Motel 6 cameras. So not only do they commit this heinous crime, it is truly a heinous crime. If you or I did what those cops did, and we say this kind of stuff all the time, and I feel like I'm a broken record, but it just needs to be said. If you or I did a fraction of what they did to Johnny Wheatcroft, we'd go up the river for a long, long time. They'd be locking us into a cage, and rightly so, and throwing away the key. But if a uniformed police officer from the Glendale Police Department does it, or any other police department, they get to hide behind their qualified immunity. It's truly tragic. It's truly sickening. It's unlawful, even according to their own standards. So I'm glad there was a settlement, but you gotta understand, guys. When somebody derives pleasure from inflicting pain and suffering or humiliation on somebody else, and then you slap that guy with a badge, and we know that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, it just makes it 10 times worse, maybe even 100 times worse than the regular sociopath or psychopath. So maybe we should call them sadistic, sociopathic psychopaths, because they pretty much fit that criteria. So if you haven't seen LackLuster's video on this, I encourage you to take a look at it. He does a really, really good rundown. The cover up in the police department for this clearly criminal activity is truly infuriating, and it would never be tolerated by any just society. So what's going on here? What's going on? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. If you want to support the channel and get something in return, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design from the store. You can put on any shirt, hoodie, mug, whatever, or visit my support links in the description or the pinned comment. I will see you guys in the next video.
Okay, before you go anywhere, a lot of people have asked me if they can get a shirt from the store with the design on the back. Let me show you real quick what you can do within the store as far as self-editing your own design that you can put on any shirt, hoodie, mug, phone case, whatever. Pick out any design from the store, then select any item. And guys, there are hundreds of items to choose from. Hats, beanies, bags, buttons, men's items, women's items, stuff for kids, and even pets. I'll just select this shirt right here. You can change the item color to whatever you want. Hit this little pencil editing tool right here and then click on Customize. You can enlarge, shrink, or reposition the design on any item. You can also click over here to the left on Designs and add any design you want. Matter of fact, you can put as many designs as you want on the front or on the back of the shirt. Or you can click on Text and add some customized lettering. With the lettering, you can change the font color, increase the size, and you can even bend the text. And check this out. If you want a design or lettering on the back or on the sides, just click on where you want your design or text, click on the design or text tool, or you can even upload your own design. It only increases the price of the item a couple bucks. And you can do this on any item that you select. The store link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Your purchase gets you a kick-ass design and supports the channel while it helps me create more content. Leave your thoughts about this video for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below.